Okay, let's talk the knee, and in particular the knee tendon, and things that we can do to really help just clear it a little bit, because a lot of people get issues, underneath the kneecap there, around the tendon, the head of the ischial tuberosity. That's where the tendon goes into and attaches. And a lot of people get pain in around there. So we're going to talk about how we can really help that situation. First off, we need to think about movement screening and clearing the ankle and the hip. Whenever we go at the knee, we need to have cleared those two things first. Okay, so that's a given. If we've cleared those two things, then we go about this. What I'm going to do today is talk about short term, how we can start to really get rid of that localized little annoying gnarling pain, and get you back to be able to pay pain free. Because what we don't want is, like, we know whenever there's pain in the body somewhere, the body will adapt and try and work around it, and we don't want to do that, particularly if it's the back foot, because we don't want that back foot collapsing even more. We don't want to miss that rotation from back foot to front foot contact. So it's crucial that we get on top of it. So I'm just going to run through some ways we can get into it, using a few things, using the gun, using the voodoo floss, and just some different positions we can get in. So first off, what we want to do is try and clear the fascia to make sure the fascia is flowing through the quad, because a lot of times it can happen if we're in anterior tilt and we're in there, then that quad tendon just gets strained, okay, or just gets pulled longer than it needs to be. So what I like with voodoo floss with this is going just above the kneecap, okay? So remember, if you've seen the video that Gav done on voodoo floss, we go about 90% over, 70% under. So we're giving it a good old whack around the top of that kneecap there, okay? So that's the very first thing to do. Is just get into the voodoo floss and then just coming forward into a bit of ankle dorsiflexion with the leg up. So this is, the first thing we do is just try and get all that fascia around there moving. Now, we can then do different things with this. If you have got access to a vibration platform, this is unbelievable for it. So we can just get that going. And again, you can even just put your foot on it like that, or we can step on it and just do some isometric squats, or just normal squats, up and down, or come out in more lunge position, split squat. Again, we can hold isometric for 10 seconds, come up and down, and just allow the vibration to work in tune with the voodoo floss to help create that fascia flowing a little bit more. Okay, so on top of that, what we can do, we only want to keep the voodoo floss in for about 3 minutes tops. Okay, so whilst it's on, we can then bring the leg up and get in and around above into sort of the meat of the quad and the ITB band. Okay, now the ITB band, what I really like doing with this, with the gun, is scraping down. Okay, scraping down, not just going up and down it. Spend time at each little segment, just going up and down it maybe 10 times. Bang, bang, bang. Brilliant. And then into the TFL as well. That's what we call the where your pocket sits, in and around there. It's one we don't really get. We should still be getting into the glutes as normal, when we're doing the soft tissue, but get in and around there. And again, you can hold it and come forward and back. Again, on top, coming forward and back. Get nice in there. Just hold it in one spot. Come down a little bit. Do it again. Take 10, 15, 30 seconds at each spot. So we're actually getting round it. And then that's at the top of the hip flexor as well. So we've got the bony process underneath it. Okay, scrape down. Scrape down. Okay, in and around. Come across. Almost trap it and feel like you're unpicking it as you go. We can come above it as well. Again, we should be getting into most of that while we're doing the soft tissue. So that's one way of getting it with the voodoo floss. Then take it off. You should be able to feel almost instant relief. You'll feel so much more slack in and around that quad and you'll be able to feel it. You'll be able to like, oh my God, that is a lot different. So that just brings it up a little bit more. Now, then we can go into different positions. Okay. So if you know the couch stretch, so it's not really a stretch. You know, we talk about stretching and we don't really like it, but with the couch stretch, it's a great one for the quad. Okay. Let me just pull this down a little bit so you can see. So you've got one leg down. So the reason they call it the couch stretch is imagine you can do this against the couch. So the foot's higher. I mean, I've got very poor flexibility, but through there, we can then do the same thing on that stretch. We can then start getting in and around that quad. Okay. I mean, mine is tight as hell. So going down there, coming through it, really scraping down it. And you'll notice very quickly changes. You know, if you can get the back leg almost so the heel is more towards your backside, then you know you've created a lot more range. Not from stretching, from getting into the fascia. This is the key here, getting into the fascia. So again, you can spend between 2 and 5 minutes doing that. Make sure we do both sides, of course. And then another one that we can do is using a little diamond. Okay. So you get on the floor, or I'm doing it on the box here. Just bring it down and getting it above that kneecap again, and just holding. Okay. Hold that above the kneecap. Again, you can do this for 5 minutes. You can be down on your elbows watching TV, just doing that, and then do sort of 2 to 5 minutes, taking it all up the quad. Now, if you get stuck into that and you do all these things, then that knee should slacken off. That tendon should feel like it's got a bit more range. Not everything's pulling on it. Also, what I would do is add in the Gavs anterior tilt drill. You know, you can be doing that every morning. You could be doing this every morning and every night. And in no time, you'll be feeling that knee really start coming back to you. And that on that tendon, it should be feeling a lot less. Now, obviously, we're doing everything around it, but this is more localized to try and get rid of the pain almost straight away. Okay. Hopefully that's been useful. As always, any questions, just shout.